a Minecraft movie. This is gonna be an interesting one. We've been seeing Hollywood get really excited about video game adaptations, video game movie adaptations becoming more and more of a thing. So essentially since Mortal Kombat maybe, we've had Warner Brothers really trying to do something with these properties, and they haven't been all terrible is a way to put that. But it's also kind of an interesting place because if you really think about it, comic book movies have been around for a while, but they only really took off with Avengers and Iron Man, which was about 10, 15 years old. It's been a while. And if you think about it in those terms, the movie game adaptations that we've received in the 90s were kind of funky. They had an idea of this genre, source material, but they just really went full Hollywood on that. And that's why it kind of killed a couple of projects. I'm still thinking about Akira that has gone through the cycles of Hollywood production, but I think because of how special that source material is, people aren't touching it. They're not allowing the Hollywood executives to do their potato-ness and stick their finger in that. What does that mean for us going into the future? It means that they don't know what they're doing. And that's not necessarily a terrible thing. Yes, you don't want it to be your leading mantra for the group and the team and what we're doing here. But where we go from here and what we do and what this becomes kind of goes back to the people in an interesting way. Something that just made me think is the whole shtick of the film is asking what is creativity, and should you be allowed to tap into that potential, or is it just at the end of the day, is it just a waste of time? Very fun little tidbits here to throw in there, because of course this is supposed to be a kids movie, right? The kids are going to be excited to watch the creepers and all that stuff, and that means something, right? Last week or last recording we talked about Daredevil and what the whole point of that was, of what Miss Little Ayala kind of gets the ball rolling in the gears and making things happen, right? I'll never forget getting not these specifically, but getting my glasses worked on. And for that specific period, I would be talking with the cashier or whatever lady, the attendant lady, and we just started talking about her son. I know, weird, but how her son was super into Minecraft. And I feel like anybody else could have just been like, oh, that's Minecraft, you do your thing. But someone like me who has not necessarily played the game, nor do I understand the language or the mechanics, but someone who understands just what can be completed within that universe. You see people build castles, you see people build games within the game, and that's impressive. That's pretty damn cool. I essentially got to the point where we're like, oh yeah, well there you go. He's like an architect in this digital universe. Your child is an architect and he is creating. And just because it's in the digital universe does not mean that he can't apply these skills in the real world. In fact, I would argue that him dabbling in this in the moment is helping him inspire and grow his skills in a way that no class is available to this young man at this certain time. And that is the beauty of systems, codes, video games. The things that we run around in and throw shit at is all just an amalgamation of numbers and ones and zeros. And somehow, within those databases, we found art, beauty, creativity. I I love what they have done with the world, the Minecraft world, because from the beginning, it's not the Minecraft story or the Minecraft film or the Minecraft origins, but it is a Minecraft story. Now, yes, that gives them freedom of a little bit of flexibility to just destroy things and just do whatever they want, but is that not the creativity that they have been acknowledging? Now, I hear you. I hear you, go. From the beginning, this film kind of takes off really quickly. I don't know if they had to like reshoot things to kind of make it go faster, but the first part where they're introducing Jack Black and his shtick and who he is and whatever, does go by really fast. You're gonna have a hard time just like attaching to this character because it is by design, but it still feels a little rough. And that's gonna be, I think, the biggest hurdle for anybody just kind of walking into this theater and being like, all right, let's just watch a movie real quick. So that's kind of strange, but I believe it does that because of the audience screenings, that they did that on purpose so they can get to the other cast of characters, which is kind of like the core group of the story, which honestly I think did a great job. You're putting these people in essentially in a building filled with blue walls, just blue walls. Maybe they have a couple of prosthetics or whatever practical effects to help out with the backgrounds and stuff, but they all brought a level of curiosity where it's enough to enjoy vroom vroom the moment. So at any point, I think I think when you have one bad apple in the chain, it's very easy, or negative Nancy or whatever, it's very easy to lean on that negativity and just kind of erase the whole hype of what we're trying to do here. So what is cool is that these characters, for for better or worse, similar to, not unlike to the Borderlands movie, I know, yes. But unlike the Borderlands movie, where that film tried to go pretty serious and try to like make this mean something without low-key earning anything, this Minecraft film did the opposite, where they said, freak it, fuck it, let's just have fun. Let's just tell a story. And it's very simple, it's very basic, it's very straightforward, but it's not the journey. It's the friends we make along the way. And yeah, man, and yeah, they all really work well together. Jason Momoa, Jack Black are hilarious. Momoa starts off as like the shitty asshole character, but he comes around, so you kind of like to see that happen. just the man learning his lesson, even at his later stages of life. So don't give up hope. There's still lots to learn out there. And yeah, you just have a fun little adventure with these 4 characters, and they really bring in the comedy. Yes, I would drink. Yes, I was drinking, but some moments were pretty spot on, man. And like, I feel like the people in that room were obviously excited about the Minecraftness of everything, but still were open to it. And I don't know if that's a community thing. Like, you know, you'll talk to League of Legends players and they'll all shrink and be like, oh, the community is shit. But these people in the room, granted, they could have been younger mates with their parents, but these people in the room had fun and they had a good time. And I have a end credit scene clip that I can't post on YouTube because they already flagged me for that. But hey, it would have been fun. People clapping and shit. But yeah, that's where we're at. I'm not gonna spoil most of the film. I'm not gonna go through the plot points per se. All I really want to talk about is that creativity is not a waste of time, because even in the act of creating, it can feel like a waste of time. But the issue with that is that art creations and products of our generation aren't necessarily meant for us. They hang out throughout time with history and with culture. They grow, they become legends. The Legend of Steve. And that's something that I have come to understand, that we are walking further and further away. And sure, that's just the way things are, and numbers, statisticals are beautiful in their own right. I fucking love accounting and all that bullshit. But there's more, there should be more to it than just the ones and zeros. Because if we start losing the heart of it and we just focus on statistics, then where is the value? So yes, this film is getting 5 out of 10s, maybe 1 out of whatever's. And I understand that a lot of people are gonna come into this being like, oh, what is this Minecraft? Oh, this ain't my Steve. But, you know, I sat down in a room full of people who were laughing, enjoying themselves, and I was sitting next to a person who apparently has locked in more than 1,000 hours in Minecraft. I don't know much about it like that. I just respect that there is an art, there are artists, and if there was a way to have this help in real world applications, which I don't think is too far off, but if there's a way to combine or connect those 2 points of intersections, then I know we would only be able to inspire ourselves to do more, to do better, to do greater things. And I think we need that right now, you know? I think we really do need to look again at the arts, the wonders, the creations that our populace has created in hopes of understanding and acknowledgement, and to move forward, to move past all this. So, you cannot like Minecraft, you cannot want to watch this movie, right? And no one says you have to. I'm 50-50 on everything, because the more money you give Hollywood for these type of movies, the more they're gonna get the message that, oh, we should invest in these video game movies. And then the more investors are gonna get greedy, which means the more projects are gonna be shoved within the year, meaning less quality. So, do I want that? No. Will we get that? Some form of that, probably, maybe a little mix. But my goal and my dream is to guide this endeavor. Look at that CGI. You can't say they didn't friggin' try. But to use all that energy and all that inspiration and all that experience and that art, to use it to better creations, not just cash out and simp out, but to finally sit down, cut the bullshit, and get talking about how can we make the Akira film, the film of the generation. Because it's coming, and I'm ready, and I'm freaking ready. First it'll Superman, then it'll be Akira. But hey, until then, it's been nice. And let me know if you enjoyed crafting with Jack Black and his cute little musical numbers. Go ahead and say something. Be cool about it. And I hope you guys all take care and to see you all on the next one. But until then, hasta la próxima. Ya. Mátane. Oh.